Let's go to the Bootstrap official website, and what we want now is we want to implement this grid. We already added this component. Let's see how it looks like. Going to run our application with ng serve. All right, our server is running. So this is the component. So what we want is we want to have 4 columns and then 3 rows. Let's go to the Bootstrap official website. Bootstrap offers a grid system. You can use the mobile first Flexbox grid to build layouts of all shapes and sizes thanks to the 12 column system. The way Bootstrap works, when you're putting columns, the maximum number of columns that can be in one row, they can be only 12 columns. In our case, we only have 4 columns. You can just copy this. So for us, these are 3 columns, so we need to have 4 columns. Need to add an extra column, so we can remove this. We're going to add this div in the heroes and villains grid component that we created. Then we will add another column. And let's just see how this looks like on our app. We have a column. There we go. We have 4 columns. Now we need to make sure that we have some spacing from the navbar to this div. So this grid should have some margin. So we need to add some margin on top so that this can be well spaced out. In our heroes and villains grid component, go to the CSS file and then .container. So we are literally saying we want to style this container and we want to apply margin top of 20 pixels. Going to be margin top 20 pixels. Let's see if you see now the spacing has been applied. Let us increase the spacing to be like 25 pixels. 25 pixels, that's okay. Yeah, we're good to go. All right, now we need to add images inside these columns. A good place to go is we just put the placeholder images. So you can go to the placeholder.com. This is where you get just a placeholder. You just put the placeholder here. We will add the images later on. And we just look for, okay, you can use this. Let me see if this placeholder exists. It exists. All right, so we're going to add an image tag here, AMG. Then the source, we copy the same. Instead of the column, now we add the image. Replace the column text with the image tag, and then you're good to go. Let's go to the application. You can see now we have our grid. You have a grid of 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's go back to the code. As you have noticed, this is one row. This div is just one row, so I can just do this first row. And then we need 3 rows. This first row has been done. As you can see from this application, we're going to copy this and then we add another row and then another row. This is the second row. This is the third row. This is the third row. And then this is the second row. Now we have 3 rows that have 4 columns. Let's go to the application and see how it looks like. But we have a problem. The rows are not well spaced out. We need to add some margin between them. We're going to add margin top. So instead of the container, instead of having the container, we're going to put the row. So margin top will always be 25. So we are spacing this out. In this row, the margin on top here is 25 pixels, and then this row, the margin top is 25 pixels, and then this row, the margin top is 25 pixels. Okay, now I'm going to add some pictures. Let me just add some pictures, but our grid doesn't look good, right? We need to add more grid, right? But I'll leave it that to you. You have learned how to create grids. So as a test, create more grids. I want to see, like, you create another column here, another column here, another column here, another column here, then another column here, so that this space we can utilize it. So the ball is in your court. Add more columns. So for me, I'm just going to add the images. So let me just fast forward this video.